Uh, Thank you for being here. Hello, my name is Alex Velasquez, and I'll be helping facilitate today's webinar. It's titled Self-Service Infrastructure Using ServiceNow and HashiCorp Terraform. We will show you how integrating Terraform with ServiceNow can help your organization move to self-service provisioning in any environment, including multi-cloud. We will start with a presentation, followed by a demo, and ending with a Q&A session. So please feel free to type your questions during the webinar using the Q&A feature. And please know that this webinar will be recorded. The recording will be made available after processing, which usually takes a couple of days. Now I will introduce the speakers. We have the honor, we're delighted to have Shiraz Memon, Senior Staff Engineer for Innovation at ServiceNow, and Paul Welch, Senior Engineer at HashiCorp, with us this morning. Thank you both for being here. And now let's get started. Shiraz, can you take it from here?
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. We appreciate it. All right. So we'll go ahead and start off with the agenda. So over the course of the next hour or so, we'll go over a high-level view of Terraform. We'll go ahead and see what ServiceNow is all about. We will then see how they work together. We will then ask Paul to show us a demo, and then we'll go ahead and take some questions from you guys. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so it is sometimes quite challenging to define an overloader term, really, as the implication and usage of such words have quite varying meanings. The same applies to the term automation. This is usually perceived as a mechanism to kick off repetitive and mundane tasks with varying inputs so that the outputs can provide enough insightfulness to assure quality. Another perception might lead one to think of automating financial elements of life, such as, direct depositing checks or deducting 401k contributions and charging and paying off credit card bills and so forth. So how is it that automation can be extended to speed up the making of building blocks for applications used globally? So let's go ahead and see if we can try our script at it. Granted, the concept of automation is limitless. The art of possibility has paved its way to realms of software infrastructure that was inconceivable in the not-so-distant past. Full-fledged software infrastructures are provisioned using scripts that automate the creation of infrastructures in totality. This allows automated processes to spin up machines with not only specified compute storage and networking bandwidths, but also the geographic locale, security groups, and custom settings. So augmenting this entire automation to the point of being agnostic to cloud providers allows the same set of automated scripts to be reusable for ease of use and also to foster the swift infrastructure building of solutions that reside on hybrid clouds. This in and of itself allows architects to utilize ready-made or custom blueprints from cloud providers in terms of functionality, specification, or cost. And it allows them to deploy applications on a complex infrastructure that is spun up in minutes, something that was unattainable in the not-so-distant past and still is unattainable manually, or even when using cloud-centric scripts. So basically, these practices are making their way to becoming de facto standards to produce abundant throughput for customers to consume in this time of digital transformation, really. That's the main theme of today's presentation. Another after effect of using automated infrastructure as code allows the standardization of processes for organizations to implement globally. Departments like HR, facilities, finance, and operations, all these can reuse infrastructure scripts to be deployed globally and never encounter procedural blockers that usually are the result of human error or misunderstanding. Adopting a seamless ecosystem and adhering to best practices, saving time, money, and resources is more likely than not to increase business ROI and experiences for operators, admins, developers, and last but not least, obviously, the customer. So basically, it's the need of speed that we're referring to here. It is commonly known that people ranging from newly hired individuals to longtime professionals encounter blockers in their performance because of poorly executed processes. That is usually the result of errors that are avoidable. Removing the human element from such practices has had a result that defaults to more productivity. For visualization purposes, think of Henry Ford's assembly line for a minute. Henry Ford's assembly line optimized the production of cars. Prior to Ford's assembly line, cars were still being produced, but at a rate of less than 20%. Now visualize the same assembly line crunching out cars of all makes and models at a much faster speed. Now, that is exactly what's happening, and that is exactly what's being automated when it comes to infrastructure as code. And it's only crunching out entire software machine setups, catering to all cloud providers for highly scalable applications. So now, what's ServiceNow? ServiceNow in of itself is an intelligent and intuitive cloud-based offering. It's declared to be a platform of platforms. The innovative niche that ServiceNow holds is that it makes the world of work better for people. So it can assist in transforming old manual ways of working into modern digital workflows. These workflows can be as complex and as cumbersome as they can be. ServiceNow provides an amazing interface to execute in a completely federated way, which results in a great experience that unlocks productivity for both employees and the entire enterprise. If you want notifications, we can send them out. When you cross certain thresholds, we can put those guardrails in place. Its native platform intelligence manifests itself when you want to use machine learning to extract patterns so you may predict, prioritize, and proactively manage the work that matters most. You may also utilize its mobile or web interfaces for seamless experiences that leverages the same workflows. The intuitive part, now its intuitiveness shows when using interfaces like virtual agent. So you can actually have a very robotic interface that actually has a full-fledged conversation with you, so you can work in ways that actually work best for you. ServiceNow's product portfolio is based on IT, employee, and customer workflows that derive all enterprise solutions for your digital transformation, which results in higher productivity throughput. All in all, ServiceNow is a revolution at work. It's a technology and service to people with the mission of making the world of work better for people. So that's what ServiceNow is on a high level. Now, ServiceNow and Terraform, we basically saw the functionality of both platforms, and we've come to a point where we see that this functionality in conjunction to a simple point-and-click portal interface makes the execution process easier for users from all backgrounds and all industries. This effectively allows people to kick off these automations from their phones using federated platforms with complete audit trails and cost control guardrails set in place. So factoring in any changes to the infrastructure and having versions associated to the deployment is now a part of the process. It's no less than a wonder, really, that this level of automation facilitates the creation of new innovative products and more best practices based on efficient operations and results in happier customers. Our friends at HashiCorp have developed this integration for building, changing, and versioning infrastructure safely and efficiently. This enables end users to kick off automated processes based on script to provision a data center infrastructure using code. So there are configuration files that describe Terraform components needed to run, let's say, even a single low complexity static website or a full-fledged data center with load balancers in place, machine learning and AI-based images running for dynamic and scalable websites. So the entire experience enables version control and automation, reducing human error, increasing productivity. So we'll leave it to time, really, to see if this overloader term, which is automation, will, as it defines this new meaning in the world of digital transformation. As suggested, this integration basically allows you to spin up infrastructure from a simple point-and-click interface. You have libraries of already approved workflows based on your role and access controls that are incorporated into the ServiceNow ecosystem. You can kick off runs and create workspaces and much more using this integration. This is the service catalog interface that you'll see in a minute, and Paul will demonstrate that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. So Paul, off to you.
Thanks, Shiraz. Let me share my screen here. Okay, I'll assume everyone can see this unless you tell me otherwise. So here we have the Terraform integration in a ServiceNow instance. For this demo, we've created a service catalog item for provisioning AWS resources. So we'll just select that one. And we have an option for which repository we want to use as our template to kick off these resources. We'll go ahead and hit order now. So this would be the flow for a user. They can select pre-built service catalogs and then order those requests. And using ServiceNow, you could also implement an approval pipeline if you wanted. Once you hit order, it actually takes all of the information it needs and passes that request on to the Terraform API. We'll just double check. And it's created a new workspace and kicked off a plan and apply. So while that's building, we'll go ahead and just take a quick look here. We actually ship with multiple examples for catalog items. Because everyone's workflow is different in ServiceNow, we can't build everything, so we just ship possible examples for creating a workspace or creating a run or deleting a workspace that people can reference for building their own. And then we have tables for the repositories that you can give options to users on what Terraform code they want to use to build their repositories. And then just a basic config table, which you can point to your Terraform cloud or enterprise. And as Shiraz was saying, with Terraform and ServiceNow integration, we can use Terraform Cloud or Terraform Enterprise to manage the resources and VCS connections using the change requests from users. So we can actually leverage Terraform, and it will go off and create everything for us. And we'll go ahead and give this a minute to build. Hopefully this is running. If not, we'll go look at the code afterwards. And here we've actually, the EC2 instance is finished building, and we actually passed in the variable from the request item, just to show that you can pass this all the way down into the infrastructure. So any requests coming from ServiceNow can be passed into your infrastructure when you're building it with Terraform. The Terraform code for this example is pretty basic. We're just creating a basic networking with VPC and subnets and security groups, and then creating a basic instance, and then installing a basic web server. And in this case, we are passing in a ServiceNow request item here. And that is just a quick demo. If we can take any questions after.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. All right, so let's move on to questions. Alex, do we have any?
Yes, we do. One question we have is, hi, as a consultant, I am looking to get more into ServiceNow. I do a lot of Terraform stuff, and hold on a second. I'm having trouble reading this particular question. Let's go to this other one. I promise to get back to this one. What about ServiceNow for Terraform OSS CLI?
So this integration will work with Terraform cloud. You will need a ServiceNow instance outside of the developer instance. So this integration, which is actually on our store, I'll go and post a URL to that, can be utilized on an instance that has been provisioned for your company. It's not going to work on a developer instance purely because those developer instances are meant for educational purposes.
Okay. Now I can actually finish that other question. As a consultant, I'm looking to get more into ServiceNow. I do a lot of Terraform stuff. Can I do POC and demos using developer ServiceNow with open source Terraform, or do I need to use enterprise or cloud?
So yeah, from a ServiceNow side, it's not going to be the developer instance. It'll be the instance that has been provisioned by the company. It could be a TPP instance or a vendor instance, or basically any other kind of instance, not a developer instance that's basically for free on the developer website. Paul, you want to take the open source part of the question?
Sure.
If it works on
from the you can use the integration with both cloud and enterprise right now. If you're just demoing and doing proof of concepts, there is a free tier on Terraform Cloud that you can use.
Okay. Another question, do you have any templates for GCP?
This was just a demo template I threw together. The ServiceNow integration actually ships with example catalog items for using the flow designer for creating a workspace, creating a run, etc. I don't personally have them. I'm sure there are some GCP or Azure Terraform templates out there.
Okay.
We can probably follow up with some more detailed information about that later.
Okay, sounds good. How or where do you pass in a variable from ServiceNow form into your Terraform script?
There's a couple.
That is part of the workflows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, please.
Sorry, go ahead, Shiraz.
No, I was just going to say there is a workflow associated to that. The service catalog interface will allow you to go and input the variable. Paul, you can shed some more light on that.
Yeah, as Shiraz was saying, you can. There's several different ways you could probably do it in ServiceNow. You can create variable sets and attach them to the catalog items, or you could create them as fields and let the users fill them in. And then the integration includes a kind of SDK wrapper around our API, and we pass in those individual variables and create them when we're creating the workspace on the request. Hopefully that answers that question.
Okay. Here's one more. How to do access control over the infrastructure created in conjunction with a role in ServiceNow?
So ACLs are created on ServiceNow based off of the role that has been associated to your username. And so based off of that, you have visibility to certain catalog items or not. Yeah, according to those ACLs and roles, you will be granted visibility to the service catalog and also the workflows that are associated to those catalog items.
Okay. What licenses are required on each side?
When it comes to ServiceNow, as I mentioned, as long as this is an enterprise license, I can actually look through the license types, but as long as it's not a developer instance, which is meant for free, or a demo instance, this can be utilized. So, and from the Terraform side, Paul just mentioned that the open source, Terraform open source works just fine with this.
Okay, does the integration include server decom?
Server decommissioning, yes. So as a part of the workflows, there is a way you can actually go ahead and execute a destroy, command Terraform destroy. I think we called it delete on the interface. From the back end, it's Terraform destroy that can be kicked off and can decommission the provisioned resources on any cloud.
Okay, are we able to create ServiceNow ticket from Terraform apply, i.e. reverse side?
So yeah, go on, please.
Not in the current version, no. If that is a request item we get, I'm sure we could add it to the roadmap. Right now, the The biggest request we had was for ServiceNow users to create Terraform resources from inside ServiceNow so they could have their change management requests, such as approving new infrastructure costs and everything. So short answer, no, not at the moment, but we always take feedback for product improvement.
Okay. Does this integration depend on a ServiceNow mid server?
No, we do support the ServiceNow mid servers. I think it's the next version, which should be in the store soon. We just added additional mid server support, so you should be able to use your mid server. The biggest use case is that we have a lot of customers who have on-prem Terraform Enterprise, so it should work with that.
Okay. What are the limitations of using the Terraform Community Edition for this kind of provisioning?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Maybe they could elaborate on that one.
He probably meant the open source Terraform versus maybe the advantages of Terraform Cloud business versus.
I see. Assuming you're talking about usage requirement or limitations, you would need a ServiceNow license and instance, obviously. And while we do have Terraform Cloud free tier, I imagine you'd probably need one of the higher, maybe business tiers if you have a lot of users making a lot of requests. But I'm sure that's something one of our sales reps could help answer better. They know the pricing scheme better than I do.
Okay. Are there any plans at ServiceNow to support Terraform open source?
So this current integration does work with that, as mentioned by Paul earlier. So I think that's been covered already.
Yeah, it does leverage Terraform Cloud or Enterprise, so you would need to use our free tier on there. So it does, while Terraform Cloud uses Terraform underneath the, it's running all the Terraform code for you. You would need something with the Terraform API, such as Terraform Cloud free tier.
Will we be sharing the demo and recording of this session? Yes, of course. I will send it in a couple days. Any demo showing the cloud agnostic capability in today's call?
Cloud agnostic.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll take this one real quick. We just grabbed AWS because it was AWS is a simple solution, but anything that we have a Terraform provider for, you could use, or even if you built your own Terraform provider. So we don't have a demo lined up for all of the cloud providers right now. We just decided to focus on one for this demo.
Doesn't mean it doesn't work with all the others, because that's part of basically.
Yeah, it does. Anything you can write Terraform for, it works with.
Yes. Is there support to import Terraform resource into the ServiceNow CMDB directly rather than through Cloud Discovery?
On this current version, no. If we get enough requests for that, I'm sure it's something we can add to the product roadmap. Feel free to send us an email through your. It looks like John is actually answering. He's one of our product managers for Terraform, so I'll let him finish answering that in the chat.
How much integration is supported for CloudFormation, AWS, ARM templates, Azure deployment manager from GCP?
So this integration is this integration is specifically meant for Terraform. There are other connectors on the ServiceNow store that can actually that address those other cloud solutions as well. Paul, you want to add to that?
That sums it up pretty well. Thanks.
Can you show the demo again? I think we can. We are recording this, so it can be seen several times. Can it manage lifecycle of a resource, like creation and amendment of same later in stage?
Where's that question? I don't quite understand the last part of it.
Can it manage lifecycle of resource? For example, the creation and amendment of same later in stage?
You could build, so the integration actually wraps around the Terraform API. So anything you can send to the Terraform API, you should be able to add to this integration. So generally, that's a good example is just, you can glance through the Terraform Cloud or Enterprise API documentation, and that's being used or referenced somewhere in this integration on most of the API points at this moment. If there's obviously, if there's not something in the integration, we can always take product feedback and add it to our roadmap.
Is there a Terraform provider for ServiceNow?
No, but I think we'd be curious to know what you're trying to manage in ServiceNow with Terraform.
Is there any tenacity building? Only letting group A, BC create specific oops.
Yeah, so ServiceNow is single tenant. When it comes to visibility of certain images and basically whatever the capability of deploying a certain set of images being made visible to a certain group, yes, that can be done. So hopefully that answers the question, yeah.
Okay. Can ServiceNow trigger the pipelines, Jenkins or Azure pipelines?
We have other integrations with the Azure pipelines in the store.
Okay. Any limitations if provisioning Windows servers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And from the Terraform side, no, it's anything you can do with the Terraform, you should be able to do with this.
Okay. When will it be available for Paris?
This integration is already supported on Paris. So New York, Orlando, and Paris releases are the releases that you can use for this specific integration. They're supported officially.
Great. Can ServiceNow kick off pipelines that run Terraform code in Azure DevOps while saving just state file to Terraform Cloud?
The state file will always be on the Terraform Cloud. So you're saying ServiceNow can kick off pipelines that run on Terraform? Yeah. So the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think that should be fine because the Terraform code would just be referencing the Terraform Cloud for the state saving. So, and then, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Great. Great. I think that's it in terms of the questions. Thank you so much for everybody for attending this webinar. Thank you, Saras and Paul. To the audience, thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed the webinar and have a better understanding of ServiceNow and HashiCorp Terraform. Finally, as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, we did record it and we will make the recording available after processing. I will send an email with the link to it within the next couple of days to everybody who registered. Have a great day and goodbye, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.